Sonic the Hedgehog has made a significant impact on the internet, from animations to even millions of fan art being made, and the phenomenon of OCs becoming so popular that you can search your own name with following the Hedgehog to see a character that has the same name as you. That it really shows how big the fandom is now, with the Sonic movie being a success and the new games and IDW comic being well adored by its fandom. Its success was so impactful, in fact, they brought me here to drop you as OCs today. All thanks to my experience with the fandom. You see, I joined the fandom around 2022 after my friend got me into role-playing. We used to enjoy writing stories with our characters, and we had quite a unique timeline that we called Soft Shades. Soft Shades was an alternate timeline we made for our roleplays, and the reason why I believe Sonic OCs aren't generic as some people may say, since I often see so many people write compelling archetypes and characters that made me take writing more serious later on. So I might be a bit biased about the fandom, but as an artist and writer, it had inspired me to take my creativity to become useful in some way. I had always wanted to use my skills for something fulfilling, such as creating art, so the Sonic fandom has encouraged me to do so, and that alone was an important impact in my life. So creating these drawings is sort of a thank you to the people and the fandom itself. I'll get started with drawing my friend's OC. They're Vindy Kookaburra. I read the lore, and my biggest like about the character must be the use of design and how it reflects the character's backstory. Dervin is a time traveler who came from his old world that was attacked, leading him to obtain telekinesis with his gear that he puts on in his missing arm. He also wears a visor to restore his vision, so when drawing him I decided to give him a warm hello, since I thought it was nice to draw a character with a bit of tragedy to appear like they're enjoying their Sunday afternoon. Drawing the glove was also fun. Part of me felt that it looked a bit off when drawing it, but I had hope that the drawing gave off that he was moving with his power. But by the time I finished drawing was when I realized that I might have made a mistake with the way that the glove had looked. The angles, the perspectives, outlines. But honestly, drawing the outlines wasn't so hard. Maybe the triangular lines were easier, but I just needed to practice drawing rounder parts, especially with the fingers. But aside from the drawing process, I love the color schemes. The earth tones are always pleasing to me every time, especially with shading. The orange made me really love drawing him even more. I used the glow effect when coloring the visor to give off the feeling that it was turned on. The green also worked well with the brown scheme when coloring the shoes. It gives me the vibe that this character is well grounded and has a sense of growth, which inspires his development in the story. I only know so much about my friend's OC, but they say that he's a character that will grow with the roleplay he's in, which is a cool confirmation to my idea that the colors have a deeper meaning to his development. I had a lot of fun with drawing Dervin, so feel free to tell me how I did with the drawing I made. And next off is Arc the Cat. Thank you, Coco, for sending this to me. When I saw the reference you showed me, I had thought of them as some sort of ninja, and it was a small headcanon that I thought would be a cool aspect to include to the art. You told me that the character doesn't have a backstory, but I enjoyed drawing him regardless. I gave him the pose based on the headcanon, making it seem like he's on some sort of self-mission, with his jacket hiding a part of his face to conceal his identity. I messed around with shading the fur pink. I had tried to keep some parts of the fur white, and tried to make the lines thicker at some point to emphasize the perspective based on the reference I used when drawing the pose. Your design is rather good overall, and I had wanted to capture the same personality I saw in the reference you sent, and it took a bit of my time when trying to, but I must say it was worth every moment I had, since I enjoyed everything about the design, especially how recognizable your OC looks, and when I saw the reference I've noticed that it had a unique silhouette to it. And if you know, it could be a good thing to recognize the character design without the heavy detail. In fact, changing the jacket to cover his face then it had made him look unrecognizable, since anyone could still tell that it's Arc the Cat based on its silhouette being the same. So Coco did an amazing job. I really liked the way it was designed. And finally, Nando the Macaw, made by one of my best friends, Sophia Wrights. She had made Nando originally to be a Sonic OC before becoming his own standalone character for a temporarily cancelled comic. But besides that, props to her for giving me a complete reference and more drawings of him to help me out making the art. His backstory, from what I remember, was his sister being kidnapped during a war period where his species was enslaved by another race of anthropomorphic wolves. I had some interest in his story, so I listened to Sophia when talking about the Nando's personality, and honestly, I think he's a type 8, based on the Enneagram's description and the art. But on to the art. Based on what Sophia said, Nando is a bit of a cocky and immature thief who possesses electric powers to fight off and maneuver around. So I'd give him a fruity pose instead of some badass drawing of him, and she loved it. Which I'm glad, because I spent most of my time getting the pose right, and the spiky hair was the most annoying part about it. But I think I just got it right, and so instead of that, I just tried changing the pose from its reference I had used so it could be unique on its own. Not sure if I did a good job on creativity, but I had quite fun with shading and the lighting effect I had put on. I had a small detail where one of the electricity had a heart shape to it. I hope that you have noticed it. Sophia's OC is a really good example when I said Sonic OCs aren't generic. When I had first met her, her thoughts about how characters should be made really had me think a lot more about what I wanted to do. And we both had some similarities between us as artists, that I had made a character by the name of Aspen, who is also part of a canceled comic I tried to make. I had met her about a year, I'm pretty sure, so the impact from her was also huge, since it had led me to met through a Sonic server that it made sense to me to why I believe the Sonic fandom has impacted the internet, including myself and artists. So yeah, that was really it. I learned a lot and hopefully provided enough information to what I think about character designs, but specifically OCs, and that you enjoyed my speed frame that I tried to make while showing you the art that I've been making for the past week. Perhaps we could do this one more time, with potentially a second topic about some old infamous Sonic OCs. You know the ones. Cold Steel, Sonic Chew. I need to think of more. Anyways, this is Octavia, and goodbye.